Humans are creatures of simplicity, hardwired to seek clarity and ease. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am joining y'all today with on the couch content. Really just wanted like a chill vibe and we can kind of just get into this chit chat because we have a lot to talk about. So stay tuned and let's get this conversation started. So the drink of choice today is going to be water. And the Sagittarius cup is from my mom. So thanks, mom, for this cup. I love it. And it matches like the fall vibes going on. So this is literally perfect. So today, for our chit chat, I wanted to kind of just like go into what is it like, or rather the benefits of living a simple life. And now I think when people think simple life, they think a minimalistic life. And that is not 100% accurate, just in the sense that when you think of minimal, you think of someone having less or purposely having less, and consuming less. When I say simple, you guys are actually going to hear what I mean by that. I have a few talking points that I would love to just go over with you. So, an analogy that I would love to start with is to think of yourself in a room. And you know, those moments when you're like about to study, about to get some work done, about to do something productive, and like you look around and you're like, yo, this place is a mess. Like, I need to clean up, I need to wipe down this area a little bit. I need a fresh, clean start to be able to start that task. So, essentially, decluttering your life gives you more of a stress free environment. Naturally, our brains like to have simplicity. So, being able to find areas in your life where you can declutter is always essential. And these areas in life that can be decluttered, there's multiple. So we can start with, for example, people. When I say people, some of those ways that you can declutter people in your life is finding out who aligns to you now, and let's say, for example, 5 years from now. So if you are surrounded by people that you don't see in your life 5 years from now, that would be considered clutter because it is blurring your vision. It's like having a cup of water, right? And you can see through the water. It's clear, perfect. And then you get like black food dye and you're just dropping it in the water. And as you're dropping it in the water, it's kind of tainting the water and you can no longer see through it. And in that same sense, it's kind of like yourself. When you are surrounded by people that you don't see in your life long term, it is cluttering you and tainting you. And that is actually stopping you from living a simple life because living a simple life basically just breeds the opportunity for you to be the author of your own life. Another way you can declutter people in your life is placing them where they belong. And like, honestly, I think it takes people a while to kind of understand this. And this doesn't necessarily correlate to family because at the end of the day, family is family, right? So this would pertain more so to friendship groups and associates and colleagues. So understanding that you have your work friends and these people, you maintain a certain level of relationship with them and you keep a boundary there. Then you have your friends. These are people that you see here to there. You might invite them out for a good time. You might have conversations with them. And then you have like your besties, people that you are so close with, long-term friendships that maybe you tell more, you invite to more places, you allow them into your home, and you're just closer with. So being able to place people where they belong and having that intentional mindset of this is who this is where they are placed, it helps you declutter your life because you are decluttering your friend group. Similar to organizing your cabinets. It's like you want your plates on one shelf, you want your bowls on one shelf, and you want your cups on one shelf. So being able to distinguish, it helps a lot. And this is actually funny because think about it like this. You know, like on your birthday when you're like, okay, I am having a birthday dinner per se, or like maybe a party, and like you're inviting all your different groups of friends and colleagues, and it's like, this is like a mixture of people, and everyone is kind of just like combining, and then you have your like super close friends that seen you one way, and then you have your not so super close friends that seen you one way, and now you're merging the two, and it's like, this is chaos. And it's always chaos in the best ways because you get to learn new things about yourself all the time, but it's more so just like it's clutter. It's almost like, oh, this is like a clash. So finding ways to separate your friend group and arranging it and placing people where they belong is another way that you can live a more simpler life. And also understanding, I think when I was younger, I never understood the phrase that like birds of a feather flock together. And it's actually really true. Like when you really sit there and think about humans and how we're energetic creatures, we share energy with people. You ever had an instance where like you hung out with someone and then you found yourself like saying the same thing as them? Now you're eating the foods that they eat. Like it's almost like you exchange personality traits with that person. So just being considerate and thinking about like who do you want around you. If you want to live a simple life, maybe you need to find other people that is also on that path of living a simple life. And of course we can talk more about simplicity in lifestyle, but simplicity never means that like you're dimming yourself down. It never means that like you're not buying yourself things. It never means that you're not like taking care of yourself. What it means is having a plan, a vision, and a mindset that you stick to without being derailed. Another thing to also consider when living a simple life is financials. It's easy as someone who grew up in like a really big city where like you needed to be dressed a certain way, you needed to have name brand, you needed to like be in all the fancy spots. When I tell you all of that is a lie, like don't fall for it. I think I spent the last 2 years of my life like feeling like I needed to be like this person. I needed to like have this, I needed to have that. Like, would you rather have one $1,000 pair of shoes, or would you rather have five $50 shoes? Then you can switch it up. And that's where simplicity comes into play, because like, would you rather follow a trend? Simplicity can also sometimes just be little things like, do you really need to upgrade your phone this year? There has been no major updates to the iPhone except for now that there's no longer 3 cameras, there's 2. Do you really need to upgrade your phone? Do you really need to upgrade your car? It drives pretty well. What is your purpose? And when you live a simple life and you become content with what you do have, you don't want to go out and look for other things. Instagram and TikTok is a perfect example because I always fall victim to it. You're scrolling on Reels and then you see like a video, or you're scrolling on TikTok and you see a video and they're like, get this kitchen appliance. Like it will literally change your life. And what it is a potato slicer. You have a potato slicer, but this potato slicer is in pink. Do you need it? You don't. You really don't. And I know like with consumerism and all that, it's so easy to want what we don't have, or feel like we need to upgrade, or feel like what you have isn't enough. But it's literally a play into your emotions. And once you start to live a simple life where you become happy and content with what you already have, you learn to look past that a little bit. And in a way, it helps you with your financials. So always think about that and just be content with what you have. Like you have a couch, you have a TV, you have a phone, you have a car, you have the basics in life. And I think also sometimes when you think about living simple, you can also attach it to materials. Like, are you happy with what you have? Sometimes you need to generally sit down with yourself and ask yourself, am I happy with everything that I currently have? Is this new item going to make me happier? Is it going to make me happy long term? And I remember once, about 3 years ago, I participated in like this circle, and we were talking about joy and happiness. And I don't know, I feel like it was, I'm gonna look at my notes to see if I can actually find what I had wrote down. So no, I don't remember what I wrote, but I do kind of remember when we were talking about joy and happiness. And when I think about joy, I think about something that's more internal. Like this is a feeling where you're just happy, you feel good. Like this is an inner emotion. Like a pair of shoes cannot bring you joy. Going on vacation cannot bring you joy. This is you as an individual. And then I think of happiness, I think of temporary. I think of like, oh, I went on vacation, so I'm happy for the weekend. But if I were to go back to like my regular cycle, I wouldn't be as happy. So I really like to separate the two. And now this is my own personal description. I could be totally wrong. We can actually look this up to see what is the difference between joy and happiness. Let's see what Google says. Oh, ha, I was right. So joy is an inner feeling and happiness is an outward expression. Mind you, I've never Googled this. Like I've literally never Googled this before. And I'm happy that like I had the knowledge of that and the understanding. So yes, with living a simple life, you're able to tap into joy rather than happiness. I feel like sometimes living a fast-paced life, living a very trendy life, living a life that is not your own, but a life that is given to you, or a life that is an expectation of others, might bring you happiness, but it won't bring you joy. Because for you to be able to fully understand and fully feel joy, you need to be happy within yourself. You need to know that this is what I want. I am the author of my own life and I am writing my own story. Therefore, I will always be joyous. So, yeah. And another way to live a pretty simple life is to stop saying yes to everything. Stop being a yes man, okay? Or yes lady, yes whatever, okay? Because think about it like this, right? I think it's easy to have the fear of missing out, especially when it comes to opportunities, things that you might see that's beneficial for you in the future, or even in your dating life. But you have to remember that living in a scarcity mindset is already one way that you're not living simply. You're not living aligned to yourself in a story that you are writing for yourself. Stop saying yes to everything. You don't have to say yes to every event. You don't have to say yes to every opportunity. You don't have to say yes to every collaboration. There will always be more. And in my last video, I kind of spoke about this. We have so much time. I know people love to say like time goes by like this, or they say life goes by fast. I never think about it like that. I see every day as a new way to start something new, to continue working on something, or a new start. We have time. Don't say yes to everything. When you say yes to everything, you allow others to write your story. Think about it like this, right? You have a poster and you're like drawing on this poster. You're drawing, you're painting a river. And someone comes along and is like, you should add, you should add a dare to that. And you're like, yes, right? Okay, cool. Someone else comes along and they're like, you should add daisies to the grass around the river. And you're like, okay. Someone else comes along and they're like, you should add some birds. Someone else comes along, you should add someone in the river as well. Now you have 3 or 4, I don't remember how much examples I gave, but now you have these extra elements to your painting that originally you didn't have planned to have. So in that way, you're allowing others to paint that picture for you. They're giving you ideas. It is not fully your own. And when you do that, you're not living a scripted life that you wanted for yourself. You're not living your simple, well written out path. You are living others. And that's why I say it's always okay to say no sometimes. You don't have to say yes all the time. Say yes to what you feel is aligned to you. Maybe if they say, hey, add the birds, and you're like, this picture could really use some birds. If someone says add a person, I didn't really want to add a person to this painting. Thank you though. Stop saying yes to everything. And in a social aspect, saying yes to everything is a way that you actually overstimulate yourself, because realistically, like, I know everyone wants to be booked and busy. Everybody wants to be on the go, making that money, go, 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 go. But realistically, like, that's not what we're made for, especially as women. And if wanted, I can make another video about that, but I'm not even gonna get too deep into that part. But and now with being booked and busy and you're saying yes to everything, you start to lose that connection to yourself, because you're always busy, you're always on go, and you're no longer living a simple life. Or you're like, oh man, I missed this important date because I was so busy and occupied with things that don't matter. Overall, living in simplicity, it gives you control over your life. It gives you the ability to know what you want and what you don't want. You are in control and you call your own shots, and you don't let outside influences change your direction. Living a simple life, I feel like, is just knowing that these are my boundaries, this is who I am, this is where I place people, this is what I want. And once you have that, life becomes simple to you. It's not overcomplicated, it's not overstimulating, it's not confusing. It's your life, it's what you decide to do with it. And always be super picky about who you're allowing into your bubble. I feel like with being the author of your own life and living in that simplicity mindset, you create a little bubble. And when you create that bubble, you might let a few people into that bubble. And chances are you're letting them into that bubble because they align with you. Always be picky. I say this all the time. Like, be picky with who you hang out with. Be picky with what you eat. Be picky with what you wear. Be picky with, like, where you go. And it's 100% okay. Because when you're being picky, you're literally just simplifying your life, what you want, and how you want to operate. So always be picky. Living a simple life also helps you to focus on your well being. It gives you a connection to yourself that you wouldn't have if you were always on go, or if you were always worried about the next thing, or if you was always worried about being trendy. When you live a simple life, you get a better understanding. When you live a simple life, you're able to hear yourself more. And I feel like this is like a really big thing. I know in my previous videos, I always talk about journaling, and like sometimes it's just not realistic to journal every day, or sometimes you just generally do not want to journal every day, which is totally understandable. But when you take the time to slow down, you're able to hear yourself more in a sense of like you are able to process your emotions. You're able to understand yourself in an untainted view. And journaling, always push for that because honestly, it's like a time capsule of like yourself. So like let's say for example you journal like in January, and now that it's November, it's October, you look back and you see, oh, this is where I was in January. These are the emotions that I was processing. I am the way I am today, or I feel these feelings today, or I act this way today because in January this is how I felt. So living a simple life definitely helps you to just hear yourself more, to be more connected to yourself, and to just understand your needs and what is it that you need. Living a simple life is easy on the brain. Let's be realistic. Our brain loves and enjoys simplicity. And I'm actually going to Google that one because I just want to make sure I'm not just throwing things out there. And again, I am right. See, I've been studying my psychology, okay? So, let me read this right here. Our mind craves simplicity. We all seem to have a knack for adding layers of complexity to everything, thinking it adds depth. But more often than not, it causes confusion. At our core, humans are creatures of simplicity, hardwired to seek clarity and ease. It's literally that simple. This is a LinkedIn article, by the way. Oh man, it's crazy because with this video, I didn't necessarily like read up much on it. I try to use like personal experiences, and I did a little bit of my psychology classes because I am taking psychology right now. I'm studying psychology, and I'm just grabbing information that I learned, and I kind of just curated that to make this little video. But yes, our mind loves simplicity, and simplicity is something that you should definitely like crave and seek after. Simplicity is definitely a way of life, and it is also a mindset. Being able to think in a form of simple just means that you are focusing on what's most important to you. You are removing, or rather eliminating, all distractions, all unaligned objects, beings, decisions, and focusing on what's important at core, and whatever that might be to you, whether it's family, whether it is a community, whether it is yourself, whether it is a healthy lifestyle, whether it is your pets. Simplicity is always key. And I'm just so excited because like I really did not research before this video, and the fact that I researched while I was filming the video and I'm seeing all this information, it just goes to show simplicity is key, y'all. Like, yeah, all I'm saying is just subscribe because I've been on it, okay? I've been dropping the gems for y'all, and if y'all not subscribed, I'm looking at you funny. Yeah, I'm talking to you. And lastly, my last point to simplicity, which I absolutely love, is that with simplicity, you are able to enjoy the small things. When you live a simple life, you are honestly able to enjoy the small things. Small things such as being able to see your nephew, being able to see your niece on a Saturday after you've had a week of being busy. You are able to appreciate your family a little bit more. You're able to wake up and just be happy that you have a cold glass of water. You are able to like make a home cooked meal and just be happy because you seasoned that thing right. Okay. You will be happy that like you got an extra chicken nugget when you went to Chick-fil-A. Like you will literally be happy and content with what you have because you are living a simple life. You know what you want. You know your vision. You know your goal. You know what is it that you want. You know how you want to feel. You just know. And when you have that knowingness, it creates a simple life because you are aligned with one path. And once you are aligned with one path, you're able to remove what doesn't align with that one path. And once you remove what doesn't align with that one path, you are living in wholeness, simplicity, and the small things become what makes you happy. And there you are filled with joy. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope y'all liked it. I know I was talking a little bit, but I really love coming to you guys and talking. I really enjoy like a sit down talking session because, child, I have a lot to say, and you know, like I love to be able to share with y'all. So just comment down below what y'all think. Comment down below some thoughts. Comment down below like what are your thoughts? Are you more of like I can't do the simple life, I need to be on go, go, go? That's understandable as well. Or are you more of like a type of person that's trying to transition into the simple life? And yeah, let me know. And always give me some topics to talk about because you know, I like to talk. So yeah, coming from Nirma Darling, thank you all, and I will see you in my next video.